Everybody, happy 2018. Let's see if we can't teach you a few more things this year. We talked about perspective. Let's talk about machinery, because you're going to be dealing with sort of superhero gadgets, lots of big guns, lots of spaceships, lots of things that have quote-unquote sci-fi machinery. So let me just sort of see if I can give you a couple easy tips here on this one. I'm going to do a couple that are going to be flat, and then I'll try to do some that are perspective. I learned a lot of my machinery from John Byrne and George Perez. So if you see any of their artwork, go and take a look at it, because it gets there. A lot of it just comes from basically doing some straight lines. So if you just draw some straight lines just arbitrarily, stop and start them right here. It doesn't matter where you put them. Bam, 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 bam. It doesn't matter. And then you can come in this way too. Right? If you want to cross it, you can even come in angles if you want. So there's no wrong answer. Now what you want to do is make sure that you sort of connect a bunch of these, but don't overdo it, because you want to leave some big spots for it. So I'll have a spot there. I'll come in here. Let's say this one now is going to go here, up over here. It's going to connect to this one. We're going to come in here. You can add these little other chunks in here. Maybe drop a line up in here, and then make sure like the lines don't go sort of perfect here, right? So this one's going to go up in here. This one's going to go here, here. I'm being sloppy, but hopefully you'll get the gist of it. And then these spots right up in here, right? Again, just come up in here and just add, you can round stuff on it so that you can add some shadows eventually, right? This is going to go here, up in here. This is going to go up in here. And pretty soon, if you just keep sort of building these pieces to each other and not getting sort of too cute and too cumbersome with it, then eventually you will have some decent machinery. So let me just finish some of this up here. Go up in here, come up in here. Okay, so it doesn't look like much now, but let me go here. All right. So then what will happen is I go, now if we're going close here, so now I'm going to shrink it just a little bit. But as I shrink it, then you're going to see the machinery is not sort of that sexy. So now what you need to do is come in with a little bit of variety. And usually that means you're going to come in there with a little bit of dark. So some of your lines can now be that you have sort of dark lines in it. Don't be afraid to come in and do some shadows and some dark lines. Now if I go here, let's say right here I went nice and black, I can now come back in here with my white, and all of a sudden I've got a set of buttons, right? I can do a set of buttons that are up in this machinery right up in here. So what you're constantly doing is just sort of building stuff, making it tight lines. Like if you see here, I'm going to go big on you again here. If you see these lines here, you're going to get a little bit detailed. You can even, look at this, you can even put like little knobs on it. You can put rivets, right? You can put rivets on it. You can come in here and go like this. And if you keep doing that, you're going to eventually end up having some pretty cool machinery, because as you, like I said, as you keep going back in here, you're going to be able to sort of go, where do I need to keep adding? Where do I need to not add? And eventually you'll get something that's really kind of cool, right? Rivets, circles, curves, lines, and then all of a sudden you're going to have this really cool stuff here, right? I can even go, this can be even wires, right? You want to do wires up in here, right? Wire box, make sure you got those right in there, and all of a sudden you've got some pretty cool machinery. Now, let me get a little more sophisticated with it. We're going to go to, we talked about the other day about doing perspectives. I've already drawn some perspective line. Same thing's going to happen here. You're just going to use some of these lines that you've got here. Let me go here. I'm going to do this all freehand, and I'm going to do it up over here. So we're going to, we're going to want a couple lines here. Come up in here. Make this a circle. Make it look like this is a tube, right? If you make that a tube, and then this one comes up in here, it's going to feel like that there's going to maybe be a pipe that basically is connected to it. You can put couplings on it, but you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to sort of keep sort of doing these sort of ins and outs, right? These little wiggle lines here. And if you start doing that enough, we'll come down in here, do some, there's some lines here. And then, like I said, we can do some cool shadow work, right? There we go. Do some cool shadow work in it that we can then easily cut in, again, a keypad to get into it, or you can do some cool rivet stuff on there, some dots and things like that. And if you do enough of it around it, you don't have to do it all over the place, because what you guys are going to end up having is you're going to have somebody that's actually, you know, here's going to be your wall, here's going to be your ceiling up in here, right? So you can do it, don't have to do it all over the place, but you can do some stuff up in here, do some cool stuff. Boom, 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 boom. I used my vanishing point, was off the piece of paper, it was over here, as you can see. So if you connect those lines, the vanishing point is going to be off the paper. The other day I showed you how to do it on the paper. It doesn't have to always be on the paper. But like I said, you keep drawing and just keep building all these blocks. I'm going really fast. It's really silly. But what will end up happening is eventually you're going to have your superhero is going to be in the actual image itself, right? So now, again, you don't have to worry about it, because now if I take this guy and I want to make him even bigger, right? Let's say I want to make him this big in the shot. Then all of a sudden I only have to do this much machinery behind him, right? So it's not going to be as much as you think it is, because you're going to be able to hide it. And especially, think about it, if he actually has a cape, right? Boom, if he's got a cape up in here, then you've got even less that you're going to end up doing, right? So try and come up with some stuff. To me, it should look a little bit organic, right? Your stuff should look a little bit organic. And again, I'm going really crazy here. Maybe tomorrow I'll show you sort of a nice drawing of some of my machinery when I actually had the time to do it. But just put round shapes, angles, curves in it, cuts in it, cross hatch the stuff, do wires in it, right? You can come in here and do wires. I used to do wires like this. Let me go up in here. Todd. Right? You go, there's a wire there. There's a wire there. And then sometimes I'd even do it like this. And I'd do it. Or you can even have like a very big piece of wire like this. Let's say it's that big. And then you come in with your white and you cut in so it looks like it's actually a piece of steel or something like that. Anyways, as you can see right here, all of a sudden in this area right here, we got some pretty decent machinery that goes behind your superhero. I mean, obviously, whatever the figure is, they're going to be the sort of the main focus of whatever it is you're doing. But that's the lesson today. Keep playing with it, see how it works. Hope that helped. Give you a couple more tips here. 2018 is just beginning. Going to turn you into an artist.